Four, three, two. Marianne, welcome to the Z Marketing Podcast. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Oh, more than happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, I know there's a lot to get to about YouTube and how valuable it is for businesses. But before we get into it, just a quick elevator pitch, 30-second commercial.
Sure.
Who are you? What do you do?
Sure. Thank you. My name is Marianne Bautista. I'm the president and founder of Bautista Direct Marketing. I've had the business quite a while, since 1998, and started out really as a classic direct-to-consumer ad agency and have made a really very successful dramatic pivot towards YouTube organic optimization within the last couple of years. And did that, frankly, because we have developed a skill set around optimizing YouTube content organically. And it's just been extremely successful, and our clients love it. And we just wanted to continue with that because we felt like that was a great area of growth and expertise for us.
And I think YouTube is that's a really good niche. YouTube is a channel, which we'll get into with a lot of different aspects of it and can really be its own marketing. It's like part search engine,
Yes.
mostly search engine, part social. I think a lot of businesses really don't totally understand YouTube
Yes.
and they're either they're either not utilizing it or they're very underutilizing it, only reaching the tip of the iceberg.
Yep.
I think a lot of people now kind of have figured out, okay, I can run some ads on Facebook or I can do some organic content on TikTok and Instagram. YouTube, it's sort of like, what do I do? I put my long form videos there or my promo commercial. A lot of people don't understand how to create
Yes.
content for YouTube or how to get that content more visible. So to get
Yes.
into it, just really quick, why is YouTube, in your opinion, so important for businesses
Oh,
today?
it's so critically important. YouTube is the number two search engine in the world. It is the number two social media in the world, and it is the number two trafficked website in the world. And those numbers are only growing. In fact, Gen Zers and millennials use YouTube as their primary search engine, and everyone is on YouTube. 200, the last piece of data that I received, 277 million subscribers across the world. So
Wow.
it's, you can't
Is
ignore.
that just paid subscribers like YouTube Red, or is
No,
that
just
like,
subscribers. Just
yeah,
subscribers. You don't have to actually pay for an account to be subscribed to YouTube. You
right,
can. You
right.
you can buy the premium, but the
Yeah,
vast.
I have YouTube Red for years, and even though they raised the price, like doubled it recently,
Yeah.
although they hadn't raised it at all basically for a really long time. But
Yeah.
honestly, I found it very worth it. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, no, it's just you cannot ignore it because your target is there. Your potential client, your target audience is on YouTube. The absolute largest cohort tends to be the millennials and the Gen Zers, but every single demographic is represented. And in fact, the number one growing demographic is 55 plus. I think that the pandemic did an incredible job on a lot of people for YouTube. I mean, we had time, we were at home, and now the numbers are actually increasing in terms of people watching on the big screen. So it is, it's just amazing what has happened with YouTube. I mean, it's been growing all along, but you can't ignore it as a business because your customers are there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I tell my 93-year-old, almost 94-year-old grandmother all the time, like any old movie, old show, anything you want to watch from like back in the day, like you can find it there.
Yep.
And I think it
Great
might
source of
also be,
entertainment, a great source of entertainment, but it's also a great source for research. I mean, people
yes.
go to YouTube to learn how to do things,
Yep.
fix things, but they also go to YouTube for social proof. If they see an ad or they're considering a couple of different options with a business that they would consider doing business with, they want to know that other people like it. They want to see that social proof They want to understand how the business works. Are people satisfied? Get more, especially for complicated things, complicated processes or complicated manufacturing situations. What is their secret sauce? How are they actually doing it? They want to know these things.
Yeah.
And
And I
video
really
is the perfect
appreciate,
way to show that, to demonstrate that.
for sure. And I don't know if you said it already, but I think it's also the number one platform for videos. Like,
Yes,
because obviously there are other
far and
video
away.
platforms, but to watch any video, like, I think more than the streamings like Netflix, possibly. It's more than people who have popular podcasts on YouTube, for
Yes,
example. That's another thing a lot of people don't realize. It's great for podcasting
yes,
too. And they're dominating they're killing like cable news and the major TV networks. It doesn't
yes.
even come close. Like
Yes, I
YouTube
can't
gets
remember the stat that just came out that I know you're referencing, but yes, I think that it has risen to the number one streaming vehicle, the number
yes.
platform, I should say. I believe it's number one. I mean, we're talking beyond Netflix.
Yeah.
People use YouTube like crazy. So if you are a business owner, you have to be active on the platform, and you have to make sure that your potential clients or your potential buyers, consumers, can find you there. And it's a noisy space. And that is something that is what we work on. We work on getting more views, more subscribers, more engagement, more leads, and more sales, converted sales, customers for our clients.
Right. And I think that's the thing. And that's why I'm, first of all, and I think I appreciate that we're going more granular on on one platform. I think, I may do more episodes now just on LinkedIn, just on whatever. Now, for a lot of businesses who are listening to this or watching this, they might think like, yeah, for my industry, I understand like it's natural for me to, post on LinkedIn, or
Right.
depending on the industry, I understand the importance of, you know, getting on, upping my Facebook or Instagram
Or having a
presence.
blog, like
But
blogging, right?
right, but right, for like SEO. But I think a lot of people are at a loss when it comes to YouTube. So first of all, you just laid out, if you were out there doubting in any way whether YouTube was a good use of your time, the eyeballs, the views are
Yes.
there. If anything, it should be probably considered before TV ads or, a lot of other kinds of advertising, because it has the viewers. But I think where people get
Hung up.
intimidated,
Yeah.
myself included, it's like it is a lot of noise. It's
Yep.
the search engine of video. It's like Google. There's a lot of content. And a lot of it's terrible. There's also, but there's everything there. Everything
Yep.
is on it. So how do I get into a place that someone searching, or someone who is maybe interested in the type of content I produce or the type of product that I sell, how do I show up there? Do I just
Yep.
have to buy ads like these days on regular
No.
Google? A lot of times you got to buy your way to the top. How do I do that?
Well, this is absolutely so. There's a whole bunch of different ways that I could attack that kind of question. First off, the number one blockage for most businesses is the video content itself. But we have ways to do that are quite easy. It's so much easier than people think. They're very intimidated about creating content.
Right, right. Not to cut you. They think it's
That's kind of its
expensive,
own.
difficult. How will I get video I think that's a great point you just
And
made.
it doesn't have to be. We believe in block producing. You can very likely, for your business, if you're not already producing some form of video content, you're really at ground level zero, you can very easily produce enough content for an entire quarter in a single day, because we can slice and dice. We can edit the heck out of it. But where we like to start is with an audit. And the reason we like to start with an audit, whether you have a channel or not, the reason that we like to start there is that then we can reverse engineer the entire process. We know what the competition is doing. We know what the valuable keywords are that you should be including. We know what styles of video. We know what questions people are asking. What are people asking out there that they're looking for you and for your solution? So start with an audit and really put together a go forward strategy. And so that's where we like to start. And then we can bulk produce content and edit it and try animations. You can do a lot of different styles of content. And we actually think it's perfectly fine to have a variety of different styles. Some UGC, let's put some testimonials out there. Let's do some show and tell. Let's do some demonstration stuff. Most businesses have events, have interesting people that work at those businesses. There are so many different ways to get great content. And the vast majority of it can be shot on this. I don't know if you can see this well on this iPhone. So
And
it's
yeah,
not,
no,
it's not as complicated as people think it is.
yeah, and thank you for demystifying that. And that's because yes, the content is the biggest, video content is probably the biggest barrier. The next, of course, the next part of it is the distribution and making sure
Yes.
that content gets seen. A lot of people I know will create like one video, sometimes spend a lot of money on it and just leave it on their YouTube
Yep.
to collect dust. Maybe they
Yep.
just send it in one email blast or put it on their website, but it doesn't nearly get
Yes.
the traction. And so they don't really
There's a
stick
reason
with.
for that. There's a reason for that. They didn't optimize it properly.
Right. So that's what I want to get into. And also a lot of people they don't realize, like, they'll make one video. They don't know how to create video at scale, like for regular
Yep.
posting on YouTube, and having some frequency, consistency is definitely
Huge.
um good. Yeah, really important, essential for the algorithm. So you alluded to UGC. That's an important one, user generated content,
Yes.
that I think a lot of people don't utilize enough. Just
Yes.
curious, what do you think the state is of, a lot of people collaborate with you influencers like on
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
There's a lot of YouTubers. I mean, they used to call influencers YouTubers. I
Creators.
mean, yeah,
Creators.
create content creators.
Yes.
What do you think their value? I mean, they're not ads exactly, and they're not purely organic. So what are the place of influencers, you would say?
Love it. Love the influencer content. If you're working with an influencer and you can come to an agreement that you can utilize that content, you do need to utilize the content slightly differently. Whatever they're going to put on their influencer channel needs to be edited for your channel, because you cannot put perfect, exactly duplicative content up. YouTube doesn't like that. We believe in doing all different varieties of content. We really, we ban nothing legal. It needs to be legal. It needs to be tasteful, but different qualities, different styles, that's completely acceptable. And audiences love that. They absolutely love it. So I love
Yeah.
using influencer content, 100%.
Oh yeah, and I think it's one, because I think there's two ways with YouTube. You could obviously build your channel, and that's an important thing, and we'll get into that. That's one thing that you specialize in. And then there's the other option of, hey, maybe I'm not ready to build a YouTube channel yet. Maybe I don't have everything, but utilizing a platform, somebody who already has the reach, already has
Right.
the audience capture of the
It's a
target
different
market
form
you're
of
trying to reach.
it's a different
Right.
form of paid advertising. It's just a
Right. So
different form.
they have the target market you're trying to reach, and basically creating content, giving you that exposure. So we covered, what
But
are
Steph,
like the
let me just interrupt you just for one quick second. What we specialize in, though, is actually giving you, the business, the ability to tell your own story. And to actually, believe it or not, if you do a great job with your own channel, or a good job, I shouldn't even say great, good is probably good enough. You will get that organic traffic of people who are looking for your solution. They are not going to find it consistently on that influencer's channel. So you want to own your own. I really think that's very important, and it's just not that hard. But you do want to start with a really good strategy, and you want that strategy to be very well informed by the data. And that's what
Yeah,
we
I
first
couldn't
audit.
agree more about having your own
Oh yeah,
channel, your own owned media, own content.
yes.
So obviously we covered a little bit what are the obstacles, people thinking content is so difficult, and you're, explaining how it's not so difficult. Obviously go to the show notes to learn more about your business, how you help them with that. So
Sure.
now I just wanted to ask you, obviously it's a pretty broad subject, how to grow on YouTube, how to hack YouTube, how
Yep.
to optimize, just like in SEO. It is a form, it is an aspect of SEO
Oh, it is
to
video SEO. That is exactly what it is.
yes, to help your content and your channel be found, increase your visibility, and have your content show up for the right keyword, the right audience on YouTube, what are a few tips you might suggest to my audience just to whet their appetite a little bit?
Well, I think number one, you want to optimize. Well, let me back up even a little bit before that. You want to have a plan. You want to publish ideally once a week. If you can't do once a week, once every couple of weeks, you want to be on a schedule. The algorithm loves seeing you regularly. It gets to understand and know who you are. And if you're well optimized, which means you have titled it correctly, you have described it correctly, and you have meta tagged your content correctly for the content, for whatever your keywords are. And that's something that we can help you figure out. Although you can also pull some of that data off of your on-page SEO as well. Then the algorithm knows who you are and they recognize the entity. Just very, very typically what we see is that businesses tend to just throw content up onto YouTube kind of willy-nilly, randomly, and it's not well optimized. And the algorithm doesn't have any idea who you are and what you do. And so guess what? It doesn't do anything for you. So
Yeah, so I have a couple questions on that. And
great.
I also I'm not hardcore trying to push my YouTube right now, but I do put this
Yeah.
podcast on YouTube and I do try to
Yep.
increase the visibility a little bit. One question is how important are I imagine very important. How important are the tags,
Oh, very important.
tagging and all that stuff, like getting the right keywords in that when
I would say that in addition to publishing regularly, it is the number one thing. The number one thing that the algorithm scrapes for that data and understands who you are and what you're doing, what that content is all about. And then it has the ability to show it in ranking when consumers are Googling effectively for asking questions, when they're searching on questions within YouTube. And by the way, in Google as well, because most people know that YouTube is owned by Google. And Google gives very, very high ranking to well-optimized video content from YouTube. So
Right. So just the audience, it will help increase your website visibility or your overall
inorganic,
visibility on regular Google too if you optimize on YouTube.
inorganic. Yes,
Yes.
inorganic. This has nothing to do with the paid world. This is not paid
Right.
ads. This is just the organic side of it that we're talking about right now. Not that there isn't a place for paid. There is absolutely a place for paid. But we love the idea of releasing or lessening the reliance that most businesses must have on paid media. And that is
Yeah.
what good organic does for you, because the people who really want to find you, if you've done a good job, the people who really are looking for the solution that you offer will find you if you have a well-optimized YouTube account.
Totally. And I mean,
Also, there's the recommendation element of it too. So YouTube also, not only does it help with the search engine side of it, but you alluded to this earlier, Zeb, and that is that it also has a recommendation element to it, which means once it sees the kind of people that are coming and viewing your content and it sees that, hey, they're sticking with it, they have a really good average view duration, and your subscriber group is growing, then that algorithm also serves your content to people that look like the people who are coming and enjoying your content. So it has two sides to it, the search side and the recommendation side. And the recommendation side is really coveted. So
yeah, that's always, it seems to be tougher to get, like definitely on Instagram these days to get into the explore tab versus just, someone knows to look for you has gotten a lot tougher. But to your point about paid, I definitely agree. Even though we focus mainly on paid ads, more search, Google search ads
yes,
and Meta.
yes,
But when it comes, I mean, YouTube ads are great too. But I always tell people it's that's a short-term way. Increase your
that's right.
that's how you should increase your visibility and get, some sales and traffic. But ultimately, you should also work on your organic presence as well, whether it's your organic on Google and YouTube
Yep,
or on Facebook, Instagram, etc. Because as you do that, it doesn't mean it necessarily replaces ads, but your cost per result with the ads will go down and your
absolutely.
increase in returns will grow. So,
Absolutely.
just a few rapid fire kind of things about YouTube.
Sure.
You covered tags. What do you think is the when you talk about optimizing? I think a really big thing, and it's a huge miss. I know that it's time consuming, although maybe you'll tell me it's not with your solution,
Yeah.
but with it's easy now with AI. But I don't know why more companies don't do like timestamp. You know when you see a YouTube
Chapters.
video and it says like in this episode we cover, we talk about reptiles, turtles, and coffee.
Sea
And
bass,
I'm like, I
whatever.
don't care. I don't care about the coffee or the lizards or whatever. I
Yeah.
want to learn about the turtles. And I just want to like I like when you can drag it and it tells you like at the minute what
Get to the
topic.
part that you want. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. So it's a great customer service thing, but also Google will actually pick up on that organic content and will actually bookmark that content specifically. So if you go in and you're Googling about turtles, you could get the search result of just the turtles chapter. So from your video. So I don't care about the birds and the coffee. I want to talk about the turtles. So yes, absolutely. It's a great tactic, very underutilized, but I'm seeing it more and more. But it is
Same.
something
Yeah.
we absolutely do for our clients. We make sure that their content has been bookmarked and chaptered properly.
Well, maybe I'll have to check out, potentially we'll talk after this because definitely I would love to have like with my episodes when we're talking about tags on YouTube versus like what are the challenges to YouTube. Like I know with you Opus Clips and there's different tools I can make. I can make video clips based on the
Yes,
isolate the parts based on the keywords. I'd love to have an easy way to do that
yes.
on my channel and tells you what minutes talk about what.
You
Um,
know, and what that really gets to is repurposing. We really strongly recommend that people shoot their video content horizontally YouTube first because it's much easier to cut down to the other aspect ratios for
yes.
LinkedIn and so shoot horizontal first, give yourself space on the side, and then you'll be able to repurpose that. So it's exactly what you're talking about. Repurpose elements of a longer form video into many, many shorts, reels, TikTok, every your emails, your everywhere else where that you would potentially put your on your site. It's really, really brilliant. That's another point that many people don't realize. You get extra bonus points from YouTube when you embed a video from YouTube onto your site. It helps.
One challenge, I mean, this is not just a question. This is just, I'm just sharing this. I find that with videos that, obviously Meta, Apple, Google, they're not friends, So like to say the least. So
Yeah.
YouTube, which is owned by Google, and like let's say Facebook that is owned by
Instagram.
Meta.
Yep.
The challenge sometimes is with video, if it isn't already confusing enough for clients to like just to make videos, it's like unfortunately on a lot of platforms like Facebook and Instagram, or Reels, like you need to have like it likes
Right. The
vertical,
aspect
especially on
ratio is
mobile,
different.
which
Right.
is it takes up the whole screen. But on YouTube, you want horizontal,
Yep.
so it can be tough to be like, which way should we shoot it? I guess it would really be determined by which platform is your like primary or where
Right.
your audience is.
Well, we really believe you should shoot horizontal first because you can easily edit to the more vertical aspect ratio. So you can't go the other way as easily. If you shoot horizontally first, you're going to end, and then you want to put it on YouTube, you're going to end up with a couple of black bars on the side and it just doesn't look very good. So,
Right, right. It doesn't look
so
native.
part of our service, we also offer the output to all the other different aspect ratios as part of our service. So if you give us a piece of long form content, we're going to just go crazy on it. We're going to cut it down for other places. We're going to give you the aspect ratio that you need for all of your other socials and whatever your various uses are. So
That's a really big value add.
oh yeah, it's not
And
that hard to do if you know what you're doing. We have good editors who know what they're doing, and we have the
right.
tools. We have all the
If
tools.
you have the tools to
Yeah,
edit it so it looks not distorted and it looks native to each platform, and
right.
I think that's super important when you're creating content for different platforms that it should each
Yep.
look native and clean. Another just two quick things. Obviously, descriptions, YouTube descriptions, just like tags, super important with the keywords and
Yep.
you can also use it as a place for your SEO to have outbound links if you want to like drive links to maybe your website or
We
audio
actually have
versions of your podcast.
we actually have 8 tactics for how to drive leads from your content and your channel directly to your lander or your website. They're kind of like direct marketing tactics. There's just a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to give them away. You got to give me a call if you want to know what they
Right.
are.
Yeah. We'll
But
put that in the show notes. That's important. And just one last question about like YouTube optimization. What's the breakdown right now with shorts versus long form? Because my understanding is I think there was a statistic recently that now most people, users on YouTube, are spending time just on shorts. A lot of channels are now putting more of their content creation into shorts and less into the long form.
well,
What's your take?
I think you need to do at least 50-50. And I'll tell you why. Because you can't tell your story as a business in shorts. Although, on the 15th, we're going to 3-minute shorts. Have you heard that announcement? Yeah.
I actually did not.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
this
That's good to see.
just this has just come up. So it's
5 days. Okay.
but what's really, really important is that they work on 2 different algorithms. The original YouTube channel works on a separate algorithm from the shorts. The shorts are more about exploding your content out far and wide in a little bit of a shorter synopsis. It's more entertainment oriented, it's more scrolling oriented. However, what it can do for you is it can drive people to your long form content, to your channel and your long form content where they're going to get more information. So we like both. We use both, absolutely. But I would not say put all your nickels in one bucket or the other. I would say definitely do both. And it's not hard to do shorts, to be honest with you. You can derive shorts out of your long form content very easily. It's not a
Well,
separate shoot.
right, right. No, that's very good to know. And people, yeah, there's different platforms you can use to get the clip you want that's sized and feels
Right
native and
length,
has the
right.
you can add captions or have the right length for shorts. And
Yep.
I think if anyone taking away anything from this, one is that I think that there are ways to hack YouTube, and you can help them, and also that YouTube, especially YouTube organic, it's a whole nother, it's a different kettle of fish. It's an important part of your overall
Marketing
marketing strategy.
strategy, 100%.
And if you're already doing ads on different platforms or organic social and search on different platforms, definitely take YouTube seriously, start prioritizing it, and work with someone who's really an expert like yourself in that platform, because YouTube is really has a lot going on and just
Yep.
needs a focus in itself. So how can you, before we close out, just share with my listeners, where can they find you, and how
Sure.
can they
So
work with you?
yeah, well, let me make an offer to the listeners who are interested. Probably the best place to find me is on LinkedIn. We are very active on LinkedIn. Mary Ann Bautista, the old fashioned way, Maryann, separate word ANN, Bautista. So find me there, Bautista Direct Marketing. You can also go to my website, bautistadm.com. Although at this exact moment, it's under construction. So you're going to get you're going to get kicked over to LinkedIn. But let me make just one little offer to your audience. If there's interest, hit me up on LinkedIn and I can, for a well-qualified potential clients, I can absolutely do a complimentary top line. So we will take a look at your site and we will give you sort of a top blush, I should say, on what we think is going on. And it could be just very beneficial for you to understand more about what's going on with your YouTube, what your competitors are doing, how many searches are happening on the traffic, what traffic are you missing? That's what everybody wants to know. Like, what am I missing, and is my competitor getting that traffic or not? So
Yeah, if you're not,
happy to offer that up if for well qualified potential
that's
clients.
a very generous offer. I'll put your info in the show notes, and I think that it's a good point, because people might get web traffic or they get traffic on different platforms. They're visible on regular Google search, but there's so much traffic they're probably missing out on YouTube. And just also real quick, what's their YouTube handle of your company if you want to check out your YouTube channel?
Oh my goodness. You put me on the spot there. I'm not going to give it out because it's not ready.
Okay, okay, no problem. All right.
Find me
My
on
apologies.
LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Marianne. I'll put that all in the show notes. And this was really a pleasure. Thank you for sharing some of your wisdom with us today.
Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you.